Well, step away from the camper van, put the tent back in the cupboard and rid yourself of any suggestion you might be headed away on an Easter holiday this weekend. Police have already had to deal with a few folk towing boats with ideas of their own. And joining me now is Assistant Police Commissioner Richard Chambers. Good evening. I know it's too early for the numbers, but give us an idea of what sort of thing you're seeing at checkpoints.
Well, Lisa, yes, the police have been out in force across the country today, hundreds of checkpoints, and sadly, some just still don't get it. We've had people towing their boats up in Northland. We've had people heading to the west coast down in the South Island with their cars loaded up and their families off for a nice weekend. We've had people trying to sneak into their batches during the night in Mahia. We've had the maritime police up in Auckland having a chat to some kite surfers and other swimmers out there. So, the vast majority of New Zealanders are doing the right thing, but sadly there's just some that just don't get it.
So what do they say when you stop them? Because it's pretty obvious what they're up to.
Yeah, well, you get all sorts of excuses, of course, as you can appreciate. There's some who genuinely think that they don't know what's expected. I sort of question that. I think we've had a tremendous amount of commentary out publicly about expectations under Alert Level 4. And there's a bunch of people who we think they perhaps think they're above it and they're a bit different, and then they'll try it on. So, we'll deal with those. The vast majority we come across are cooperative and compliant and then decide to do the right thing after having a chat with us. But there's a few that don't get it, and we'll use the full force of the law to help them with that. And we've prosecuted a few already for ignoring the expectation.
Richard, you mentioned Mahi, I think it was, where someone was sort of going stealthily in the night to a batch, was it?
Yeah, well, look, we are getting wonderful support from the community. So obviously the police out there doing their thing is, that's one thing. That's just what we do, right? But the support that we're getting from the community when they see something that's not quite right, when they see people sneaking into their batches or out and about doing things, we're getting those phone calls as well, and we'll act on them. And, as an example, Mahia, we ended up visiting a few people this morning and sent them on their way back home where they should be.
Because we've just had a text in from Murray. He lives in Whitianga and says, he's asking, are you going to be on roadblocks during the night? Whispers have come in that out-of-towners are moving in during the hours of darkness here on the Coromandel. So will you have checkpoints outside of daylight hours?
Yeah, we've got checkpoints across the country. District commanders are leading those, and they will decide when to put those checkpoints in place. But I would suggest that it'd be very wrong for anyone to assume that it's going to just be happening in daylight.
Are these Kiwis or permanent residents, or are some of these tourists?
No, there are a few tourists there as well who are moving around, but again, the guidelines have been very clear. For instance, camper vans, if you're in one, stay in one and don't move. But many of the people that we've come across today are Kiwis, and as I say, let's not lose sight of the fact the vast majority of New Zealanders are doing the right thing. It's just a few that are letting us all down.
Okay, well, we can't say it too often, so I'm going to give you a chance. What is the advice to people? Tell them again.
The advice is stay home and save lives, because we all want the situation to end well. But those who are out ignoring the instructions and expectations and expect a visit from us, if you're going to try it on. But thank you to all of those people who are doing the right thing.
Any ones from these checkpoints so far that are going to be taken further than a warning?
Yes, we have. As of this morning, we've got 61 prosecutions. That's up sort of 16 from yesterday. So under the law, we are able to prosecute someone for failing to comply with the expectations of the health notice and the Civil Defence Emergency Management Act. And that's our last resort. We don't want to end up prosecuting people, but if they just don't get it, if they don't understand what's expected and they continue to ignore our advice, then we've really left with no option to act in the interest of the community.
Appreciate your time. That is Richard Chambers, who is the Assistant Police Commissioner. They're talking about the checkpoints. He was saying 61 prosecutions going ahead for people who are bucking the rules of the lockdown. And interestingly, he mentioned that nighttime, someone trying to get into their batch at Mahia by stealth. So